set free. Through the lies I feel your pain. Still we endeavor, not ready to sever yet. Nothing is simple. It's not what it says when we open our eyes. Beginning to question, do we really deserve this? Passing time as we so
Another week, another Raw. This week, we are driving the Dark Horse to Cleveland. SummerSlam is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's the first year where I haven't called it SummerScam. I can't sell those t-shirts anymore, man. Vince ain't in charge anymore. Monday Night Raw, ladies and gentlemen, a go-home show for Saturday SummerSlam. Not really a lot went into tonight's show, man. A lot of promos, a lot of vignettes, a lot of setting the table for what's going to happen on Saturday night. But we did get Seth Rollins. I don't know what he was wearing, and I pray to God that he does not wear what he wore tonight. It was ridiculous. Seth Rollins laid down the rules for Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. And depending on who you talk to, man, Liv Morgan now is the crazy psycho ex-girlfriend. She's giving off creepy vibes. I don't know what that means, but nothing worse than a woman scorned, man. I don't know what Dominic is going to do on Saturday night. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, though. I'm going to the beer garden. I don't know what you guys are going to do. I know I'm going to be drinking, man. I could use one. Or three. We're going to the beer garden tonight. It's Monday night, and when I get there, I want to know on this Monday night, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Monday Night Raw post show for July 29th, 2024. I am your host, JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS Beer Garden. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on your Monday evenings, wherever you may be. We are on the road to SummerSlam in Cleveland on Saturday night. The tables have been set, at least for what's happening on Monday night. And we are ready to get the biggest party of the summer started this coming Saturday with SummerSlam. And if you guys were expecting a go-home show that really just blew your socks off, that got you more excited than you already were for SummerSlam, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. But typically the WWE, and I would even include AEW in this, they don't usually do what they need to do on the go-home shows either, because most of the time these shows are nothing more than layups. They're basically vignettes, they're promos, they set the stage for what's coming on the weekend, whether it's a Saturday or Sunday, and there's not really much else to do as far as progressing the storyline. It's almost as if WWE, they tell a great story throughout the weeks during the build, and then when we get to the go-home show, it's almost as if they stop. They stop, and I don't know how much more they can move forward, but it stops. We get to the pay-per-view, things happen, and then the next chapter happens. So if you're expecting the go-home show to be a blow-away show, if you're expecting the go-home show to be, oh my God, man, I don't know how I could miss this show, it's never that type of show, ever. It usually is very close to what we got tonight. Like I said, a lot of vignettes, a lot of promos, a lot of other sub-stories, a lot of other wrestlers on the show that aren't on the SummerSlam card. They get their piece of the pie on Monday night, and I'm sure the same thing will happen on Friday night. Not much happened on tonight's show. Not much happened. The one big thing that happened on tonight's show, and I want to start with this. It's not CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Again, like I said, we've hit a wall. I'm ready for SummerSlam. If you guys were excited for SummerSlam already, this show didn't really do anything to get you more excited. I think everybody's at their maximum excitement. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins. Obviously, that was the big lead-in to tonight's show. Rollins was going to go over his law, his rules, as special guest referee for Drew McIntyre and CM Punk at SummerSlam. This was not the biggest takeaway from Monday Night Raw for me. The biggest takeaway for Monday Night Raw tonight was the Wyatt Sicks. Now, we got Chad Gable leading the Creed brothers in a tag team match against Otis and Akira Tozawa. Maxine Dupree got involved at the end of the match. Creed's win, obviously. Maxine gets involved. She jumps on the back of Chad Gable. And it looked like Gable was going to beat Maxine's ass, legitimately, before he even laid a finger on her. The lights go out. We get the signature Wyatt Sicks lights going out. We got the piano key playing. We see the smoke fill the aisleway and fill the ring. Nikki Cross jumps off the top rope and takes Chad Gable out. And then we get the Wyatt Sicks walking down the aisle. This is Eric Rowan, Dexter Lumis, and Joe Gacy. They walk down the ring. They get on the apron. And we get the Wyatt Sicks unmasked. I was shocked that WWE actually gave us the Wyatt Sicks unmasked tonight. I did not expect Joe Gacy, Eric Rowan, and Dexter Lumis to take the masks off and reveal themselves to everybody. I thought we were going to have to wait to see that take place. I'm glad they did. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just surprised that they actually went and did it. They gave us at least an idea of what they are going to do. And a lot of people were joking around, oh, they're going to wrestle in the masks. They're going to wrestle under the fucking characters of the Funhouse. That would have been ridiculous if they did that. They could not afford to do that. The one thing that they need to do is differentiate this version of the Wyatt family from what Bray used to do with the Wyatt family. It cannot mirror what Bray did with The Fiend. It can't. You can have similarities. You can have callbacks. You can pay homage in certain ways and certain aspects. But I'm glad that they unmasked because that gives us a glimpse into what WWE is planning on doing with these guys when they get in the ring, which I'll get to that in a second. They will be unmasked, and now we know who they are. We knew who they were coming into this. I think everybody knew. If you're into the Wyatt lore, if you pay attention to WWE, you knew who these characters were underneath the masks. Side note, Dexter Lumis looks fucking badass. If there's one guy that stands out in the group, it's Dexter Lumis. Complete transformation. We saw Dexter Lumis as the silent psycho killer type. He still has that vibe, but I mean, he looks like he should be the lead vocals for a fucking underground death metal band. He's got long blonde dreads. He's got a big X painted on his forehead. He looks badass. So if there's anybody that has undergone a positive transformation here from what he was previously, it is Dexter Lumis. So good on that. He stands out immediately, and I hope that he gets a lot of shine because I was a big Dexter Lumis guy before he ended up joining the Wyatt Sicks. I was surprised that they got unmasked tonight. We talked about this on this podcast. We talked about this with Solid Monster on Tuesday Night Titans. Are we going to see some form of the Wyatt Sicks against Gable and the Creeds at SummerSlam? Will we see Uncle Howdy versus Chad Gable at SummerSlam? We're getting a match, but we're not getting it at SummerSlam. We're getting this match happening next week on Raw on the Fallout show. So it's the Raw after SummerSlam. Joe Gacy, Eric Rowan, and Dexter Lumis in a six-man tag team match will make their in-ring debuts, the Wyatt Sicks, against Chad Gable and the Creed brothers. I'm all for it. WWE needs to do one thing and one thing only, and that is let them wrestle. We got the masks. They unmasked themselves tonight. We know who they are. They show up next week, and they put on a banger. WWE does not need to do anything extra. They don't need to do anything more than what we got tonight. We know who they are. Send them in there and let them do their thing. Don't wrestle in darkness. They don't need to wrestle in fucking dark. They don't need to wrestle with the smoke emanating from underneath the ring to make it all spooky. There doesn't need to be side effects or special effects or whatever kind of effects on Monday night next week. The lights need to be on. We need to see how vicious these guys are. They need to go in there and be brutal killers, and they need to go in there and impress. First impressions. How many times have I spoken on this platform about first impressions? You only get one. The WWE has done a very good job of keeping these guys unique. The debut of the Wyatt Sicks, where they destroyed the entire backstage area, went off perfectly. Everybody loved it. It was a memorable return for Bo Dallas. It was a memorable debut for this new group. That was the first impression, and they nailed it. Everybody loved it. If you didn't like it, I understand. You're not into the theatrics. You don't like the spookiness. You don't like all the fucking bullshit that comes along with the Wyatt family and the Wyatt lore. I get it. Completely understandable. But they nailed it. This is the second first impression. The introduction was first. That's the first half. Now the other half of this first impression is next week when they make their in-ring debut as the Wyatt Sicks. They cannot muddy this up with bullshit. Plain and simple. I don't really think this is going to lead to the Creeds winning. And we know Chad Gable himself, aligning himself with the Creeds, they need to have their own momentum. They need to get their own shit started in a positive way. But going up against the Wyatt Sicks, you're fighting a lose-lose battle here. So WWE has made the announcement, not at SummerSlam. It's not Gable versus Howdy. They're probably saving that for somewhere else down the line. But we're getting the six-man tag team match next week. And there's going to be all eyes on that. their performance, their debut will be under the microscope. WWE cannot make this like The Fiend. They at least showed you what they're going to do next week a little bit tonight with them taking the masks off. I'm glad that we're getting that. I want to see Gacy's expressions. He's very good at that. Eric Rowan is a fucking beast. And Dexter Lumis, he looks badass. We don't need to see him wrestling underneath a fucking mask or in red lighting or in dark lighting. WWE needs to do the simple route for the Wyatt Sicks next week. So I'm very much looking forward to that. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Final face-to-face before SummerSlam. Seth Rollins was out there giving his orders, laying down the law, telling both guys what his ruling will be, how he will officiate at SummerSlam. Basically a free-for-all. He hates them both. He's going to let them do what they want to do, and it's going to be up to him. They left it very open-ended. Count out? I could count to 10. I could count to 20. I might not even count. Disqualifications. I may DQ you. I may not. I will look for you to submit, and you will submit when I say you could submit. Or I will make a pinfall when I will want to make a pinfall. So they basically are leaving it very much open-ended. This certainly is going to embody and come off as the Wild Wild West in Cleveland between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. The promo itself was fine. McIntyre's promo was fine. Punk, there really isn't much for Punk to do or for Punk to say. I saw a lot of people shitting on CM Punk on social media for his lack of enthusiasm tonight. St. Paul, Minnesota wasn't the most enthusiastic crowd that they had on Monday night. But there's nothing more for Punk to do. There's nothing more for Punk to say. He's basically said it all. You've hit a wall with this feud. We've anticipated this match for 7 months now. When we get this match and the story that comes out of it on Saturday night, then we'll get what we need to moving forward. But Drew McIntyre has the bracelet. The bracelet that has CM Punk's wife and dog's name on it. That's the only thing that Punk wants back. And tonight, McIntyre teased him with that because the rule is if they lay a finger on each other, the match is canceled. And McIntyre used that to his advantage tonight to, again, throw it into CM Punk's face and anger him even more so. Gunther wrestled Finn Balor. Damian Priest and Finn Balor, they got this tension between them. Even Rhea Ripley got in, and you felt the tension between Ripley and Finn Balor as well. They're meddling in the Jey Uso business. They're meddling in the Sami Zayn business. Liv Morgan's burning T-shirts and destroying the clubhouse. Damian Priest has Gunther at SummerSlam. Where's Finn Balor's role going into Saturday night? I don't know. So we got a lot coming out of the Judgment Day tonight, again, all over the show. And we will get into all of what happened on this show right here on OTS. And I want to thank you guys very much for joining me here on this Monday night, July 29th, 2024. It's been a rough week, guys. Not going to lie. Not going to lie. You guys know the deal for obvious reasons. If I did not have to be here tonight, I probably would not be here right now. A lot of people said you should just take the night off. It's the end of the month. What do you got to talk about? Can't let you guys down. Can't miss a stream. So I'm going to do my thing to the best of my ability, man. But I thank you guys very much for joining me here on Monday night. I want to thank you guys for joining me and Solid Monster on Friday night. We were in New York City, Queens, Jamaica, Queens, to be exact, at the NYC Arena for House of Glory High Intensity. Tremendous show. If you guys ordered it on Triller TV Plus, formerly known as Fight, you got a great show, man. It's our flagship show. Hopefully Jason and I made you proud on commentary. it was a very good and much needed distraction for 4 hours. So for all the people that came up and said what's up to us and wanted a picture with us, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for your support and for supporting House of Glory. We'll be making our Chicago debut on September 5th. Jason and I will be there. So if you guys are in Chicago and want to come out to see House of Glory, man, September 5th at Logan Square Auditorium. So make sure you guys go buy your tickets. They will sell out. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Hit that thumbs up. I see 428 likes right now with 1,700 people in here, man. I would love to see the likes number as close to 1,000 as possible. So if you like the stream tonight, like the stream. Hit the thumbs up. Super chats are open. Great way to support the show, man, as we are rounding out July. If you guys want to support, super chats are all up to you. So get them on in. We'll hang out at the end of the show. Go check out all the other content on the channel from last week. I uploaded on Saturday, so make sure you guys go check that out. Took Sunday off. So go check all that stuff out. And tonight's show is sponsored by my great friends over at Magic Mind. You guys can get Magic Mind for free, man. You guys want to try a sample of Magic Mind? They're going to give you a 3 sample pack courtesy of the podcast. All you got to do is go to magicmind.com/JDfromNY trial. And you guys are going to get 3 bottles of the Magic Mind that I'm showing you right now on screen. So make sure you guys go hit them up. And as always, I want to thank them for, once again, sponsoring the podcast right here on tonight's Off the Script. Monday night started out with Seth Rollins. They went right for their biggest storyline. And Rollins makes his way out to the ring. And he's wearing what is a very feminine and puffy looking referee shirt. He looked like the Jerry Seinfeld puffy shirt episode, where Jerry Seinfeld wore the puffy pirate shirt. Exactly what he looked like. He was wearing shiny black pants. He had some zebra print shoes. He was in the moment. He was feeling it tonight on Monday night. Michael Cole talked about Shawn Michaels in 1997 and Jesse Ventura in 1999 as the last 2 big previous SummerSlam guest referees. Jesse Ventura was in the building tonight. They welcomed him with open arms. There was a rumor that Jesse Ventura was coming back to sign a Legends deal with WWE under the new administration. And he is from Minnesota, former governor of Minnesota. And he was in the building tonight, man. Jesse Ventura is one of the voices of my childhood, so it's always great to see Jesse Ventura when you can get to see him. Seth is in the ring. He said hello to St. Paul. They were singing his song. They were hot for Rollins. They were hot for most of this segment. They went to a wide shot of the crowd, Seth, and the crowd were very energetic. He wanted to introduce the 2 morons in this marquee match at SummerSlam. So Punk came out, and he is walking down the aisle. He makes a sharp right, and he stands on the hard camera side. Punk loves showing off that there are actual people on that side of the building, because the going rumor is that AEW is struggling with attendance numbers, and there's no audience on that side of the arena for AEW. So he loves poking it. He loves poking the bear. He loves making fun of the fact that AEW can't draw a fucking crowd to save their life. He loves to do it. 13,000 in attendance tonight, so you know this arena was jam-packed. And he makes his way down the aisle. Drew McIntyre comes out, and they're both in the ring. Rollins stands in between them. Seth told them not to lay a finger on one another, or their match at SummerSlam is canceled. He said Adam Pearce says if they lay a finger on him, their match is also canceled. Punk rolled to ringside. Drew told Punk he's had enough self-control to wait until Saturday, so get back in the ring. Punk says he's not worried about Drew. He's worried about what he is going to do. He said, therefore, he's taking himself out of the situation. Seth says he knows he likes to do things his way. That's not how this is going to work out. He said Punk and Drew scared off every other potential referee. Seth told him, if you want this fight, I suggest you get your ass into my ring, he says. Punk then called Seth Rollins a bootlicking office boy. Punk got into the ring and told Seth he loves that he can lord over him, so enjoy it while you can. Drew told Seth that they can beat each other's ass anytime, but they just want what's best for WWE. He said Punk is a cancer. He called him corporate man Punk. He told Seth that Punk is the real enemy. Look, he is the real enemy. You just said it yourself. He is a cancer to this company. Seth said Drew is an idiot who has said many things wrong in his life, but if there's anyone who hates Punk as much as him, it's Seth Rollins. Seth told Drew that he's overlooking that if there's anyone who hates him, Drew, it's also Seth. He hates Punk and Drew McIntyre equally, does Seth Rollins. Seth says they're going to have a violent masterpiece at SummerSlam. He says there's only one rule and one regulation with him as the special guest referee. He says they will listen to everything he has to say. He said he calls the shots, he's the boss, and he's the law. He says he'll count to 3 when he wants. He might or might not count anyone out. And disqualifications, they will all be at my discretion. He says he is a spiteful little bastard who will put their head in the dirt if they mess with him on Saturday night. Punk says he hopes Seth referees better than he dresses. He says if he plans on screwing him, there's nothing he can do about it. He says he would deal with that another time. He told Seth he doesn't want his help. He never needed his help. I found that very difficult to believe when we all know that CM Punk actually was the real leader of the Shield. He brought the Shield to the main roster. So for Punk to say that he never needed the Shield's help, it's a little bit of a hypocritical statement. He absolutely did back in 2012, if you want to go back in the fucking time machine. Drew says he should be worried about him, not Seth, and not anybody else, because he screwed him over and over and over again. Crowd actually started to cheer that McIntyre was actually right. I hate you, he told Punk. I can't stand you. He says he's sick of hearing fans chant his stupid name wherever he goes. He can't even go to the supermarket without hearing CM Punk being chanted in his direction. So clearly, everybody started chanting CM Punk. He said he wanted to rough him up at the Royal Rumble, and he took him out of action for 7 months. It was even better than he anticipated. He said he screwed him at WrestleMania and then in front of his family in Scotland. Punk started laughing. Drew says when the bell rings, he's going to violently assault him, blacken his eyes, and break his jaw. I won't stop until your heart does. A little bit of a morbid fantasy there by Drew McIntyre. He wants to legitimately kill CM Punk. Drew says he's going to get paid so much money to do something he would do for free. Punk soaked up the words here and said nothing. He said nothing for what seemed to be a long period of time. Normally, he's so quick-witted. Normally, he's a man of many words. He said nothing here, which was a little awkward. Honestly, the awkward silence from CM Punk didn't really sit well with me. I was like, what is he going to say something? What's going on here? Why isn't he really kind of attacking Drew McIntyre here, man. Punk, this is what we know him for. Dropping pipe bombs. He said nothing here. So he then finally opens his mouth and said for 10 years, he was absent from the WWE and they still chanted his name. And he waited and he waited and he waited for the fans to chant CM Punk. And there was a very mild CM Punk chant. So thanks for nothing, Minneapolis. St. Paul. Ridiculous. He says they also sing Seth's song. He said Drew McIntyre here, from his understanding, is the third wheel. Nobody chants for Drew McIntyre. Nobody sings Drew McIntyre's song. He said Drew and Seth both look at Punk and have Punk derangement syndrome. But they both get to be in his orbit and breathe his rarefied air. He says he hoped he enjoyed the last 6 months because the best thing for his career was hurting him, and it's also the worst thing to happen to his career as well. I will give Punk that. Imagine what Drew McIntyre would be doing right now if Punk did not get injured. That's one of those what-if situations. Has anybody really thought of what McIntyre would be doing right now? I couldn't tell you. I don't have a solid answer for what Drew would be doing if he did not injure Punk and they followed that lead and that story coming out of the Royal Rumble. I mean, it was a very, very great happenstance for WWE that they had this storyline born out of nothing. This was not in the plans. No matter how many times you want to think that this was part of the plan, this was not part of the plan. For all we know, Drew McIntyre doesn't re-sign with the WWE, doesn't come back, and is wrestling for AEW or TNA or somewhere else. What is he doing? Because we all know that Punk and Rollins was the plan. Where would Drew McIntyre be? It's a very good question. Punk said for all of Drew's accomplishments, he's stupid and he continuously dumbs himself out of position. He said he is his enemy, but he said Drew is his own worst enemy. He says he is stepping into the ring with the best in the world. He said Drew is bigger, Drew is stronger, and probably faster. But the one thing he's got more than Drew is heart. He's got heart. He says he has people chanting his name. Another brief mid-CM Punk chant broke out. He then asked, what does Drew got? And then Drew, like the troll that he is, pulls out the bracelet that he stole from CM Punk with April and Larry's name on it. That's what Drew McIntyre's got. And they got face-to-face. Can't touch him, though. Drew McIntyre, away from the microphone, was egging Punk to take the bracelet, saying, take it. Try and take it from me. Please try and take it from me. He can't. Otherwise, the match is off. And that's the way the segment came to an end. So we got the official ruling here from Seth Rollins, which is basically, it's a free-for-all. It's going to be whatever Rollins wants on that given night. He wants a disqualification, he'll call for it. He doesn't, he won't. He wants to make a pinfall, he will. He doesn't want to make a pinfall, he won't. Same thing with a count out. I may count to 10. I may count to 20, maybe 30. Maybe there is no count out. It's going to be a wild, wild west situation. And the one thing that we are all going to be keeping a very keen and close eye on is the movement and the in-ring return of CM Punk. We don't have anything to worry about with Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre's great. He's one of the best that they got. But CM Punk, after the injury, after coming back and re-injuring himself, tearing his other pec, everybody's going to be keeping eyes and close tabs on CM Punk. They are looking for Punk to fail on Saturday night. The AEW fucking neckbeard virgin slobs are looking for CM Punk to fail on Saturday night. And I know that man's got a lot of nerves. I know that man is already probably dealing with that mental fucking stress. What happens if it happens again? What if it's something completely different? You know that man is stressed out. I would be. But hopefully, with this, and Rollins being the special guest referee, it takes a decent load off of Punk's back where he's not the focus of the match. I just don't know how long that's going to last. Because Rollins is a big enough star where he could take some of that spotlight away from CM Punk, where a lot of people aren't going to be looking at Punk. And he can guide the match the way he wants. But at the end of the day, everybody's going to be keeping very, very close eyes on CM Punk to see if he fucks up. His movement will be dissected. His in-ring ability, his speed, the way he executes is all going to be under the microscope. People are going to be looking at CM Punk as a huge fail, hopefully, for WWE. This is what you wanted. This is what you got back. I'm glad he's not in AEW anymore. Who needs him? Meanwhile, we all know merch is up, ratings are up, interest is up, social media numbers are up, AEW's ratings are down because Punk is gone. We all know that's the reason. On top of the other problems that they have, that they are hopefully slowly fixing, with the last 3 weeks being great television. So I'm going to be looking forward to this match. But man, oh man, this is going to be locked in that category of holding my breath. There are certain performers and certain things that happen where I watch pro wrestling, man. I'm going to be holding my breath for this entire match. When Bryan Danielson jumps off the top rope with a fucking headbutt, I hold my breath. When he gets slammed on his neck and he lands on his neck, I hold my breath. When Adam Page goes up and does a fucking moonsault off the top rope to the outside, I hold my breath. When Big E used to do that dive to the outside, I used to hold my breath. Samoa Joe does a dive through the ropes. I hold my breath. Darby Allin, I hold my breath. People getting dropped on their fucking head left and right every fucking week in AEW. I hold my breath. It's going to be one of those situations. So hopefully Punk can weather the storm, come out on the other side, and we are on our way to having an absolute all-timer feud. Because this is Chapter 1. Chapter 1 will conclude at SummerSlam. And my early prediction is Drew McIntyre beats CM Punk. CM Punk does not need a win. Punk has been winning for the last 3 pay-per-views. He screwed McIntyre. WrestleMania he won, Money in the Bank he won, and Clash of the Castle he won. He won without actually winning because he was injured. He didn't win in an official capacity. But when the bell rings and we get an actual referee in there, which in this case it's Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre needs to win. He needs to win match 1 between he and CM Punk. It's the only way this ends up. And no, Punk is not buried. Punk loses absolutely nothing if he loses to Drew McIntyre on Saturday. I think you guys should be very knowledgeable in that it won't do anything to CM Punk. So don't even listen to anybody who thinks Punk needs to win, or if he loses, he's buried. Because I can already hear the fucking mumblings of the retards on social media already. Judgment Day. They went backstage where the Judgment Day's clubhouse was destroyed. PlayStation was destroyed. Things were ripped up. I don't know what she did to the PlayStation, man. That shit was in shambles. Carlito was so heartbroken, he was asking the Judgment Day for a new PS5. Don't worry, nobody's playing WWE 2K24 but Carlito. Who did this? Asked Dominik Mysterio. Rhea Ripley said that should be very obvious. She says it was obviously Liv Morgan. She says they can rebuild the clubhouse, but Liv won't recover from what she does to her at SummerSlam. She said now she stepped over the line. Carlito was concerned about PlayStation being destroyed and asked if they were going to replace the PS5. Rhea Ripley asked, why is he still here? Does anybody know why he's still here? Damian Priest showed up. He asked Dom if he thinks this was Liv. I think so. Dominic said, yeah, I think so too. Priest says he feels he should be in Balor's corner later against Gunther in the main event. Balor said no. He needed to save himself for SummerSlam. You worry about him at SummerSlam. I got Gunther tonight. He said Gunther insulted all of them. So as they fix up the clubhouse, he'll fix up Gunther. When he said Priest should take care of Sami Zayn and Jey Uso, Priest said, listen, I don't know why we're running around in circles here and meddling in this unimportant bullshit. I feel like Judgment Day is going backwards. We don't need to worry about Sami Zayn and Jey Uso. JD McFish stepped in and said he'd take care of it himself. Dom suggested Carlito go start with Sami Zayn. Carlito then says he was going to go talk to Adam Pearce and get the match signed for tonight. So it looks like there's some dissension growing within the Judgment Day ranks here. Priest wants to be in Balor's corner after what had happened with Gunther and him basically shitting all over his friends and calling the Judgment Day trash. Balor doesn't want him out there. Balor does not want anybody to help him. Priest feels like he needs the help. So I don't think that's going to work out in Damian Priest's favor if he continues to push the buttons. Because Balor, I feel like Balor is just going to get even more upset. And I'm already of the belief that Balor is in cahoots with Liv Morgan. And I feel like Balor is going to end up kicking Damian Priest out of Judgment Day. That's the way I feel. And I feel like, and I'm still in this camp. I said this last week. I'm going to still remain in this camp. I could be wrong. I feel like Dominic is going to end up turning on Rhea Ripley. That's just the way that I feel. So we will see what happens. But right now, the clubhouse of the Judgment Day destroyed by the vengeful Liv Morgan, who's now turned into the psycho ex-girlfriend. She was never really an ex-girlfriend to begin with. She just wants what she can't have. I don't know who's going to say no to Liv Morgan, though. Who's going to put Liv Morgan in a position to be the psycho ex-girlfriend, huh? Some of you guys may actually like that, for all I know. You love a problem. You get turned on by the fucking problem. I know people like that. I've been in those same situations. Many, many years ago. Never again. Otis. He teams with Akira Tozawa with Maxine Dupree against the Creeds. This was actually a fun match. Crowd was into this because everybody loves Otis. Everybody loves Otis, man. This went about 8 minutes. We quickly go to a commercial break. They were at ringside with Gable and the Creeds. Bell rang. Tozawa went in for some early offense. Dove through the ropes. He tackled Brutus. Threw him back into the ring. Climbed to the top rope. Julius yanked Brutus out of the ring. Brutus then snuck back into the ring and clotheslined Tozawa. And we go to a quick commercial break. Come back from the break. Otis makes a hot tag. He gave Julius Creed the Caterpillar, which popped the crowd in St. Paul, Minneapolis. He punched Gable off the apron after a distraction. This allowed the Creeds to give Otis a double back suplex off the middle rope, and that was enough for the 1, 2, 3 as the new Alpha Academy beat the old Alpha Academy. Now, I don't know if you guys were a little bothered by this, but the old Alpha Academy is using Chad Gable's music. I don't know why we're not using Chad Gable's music as he leads the Creeds down to the ring. Now, the Creeds' music is awful. If we're going to have Gable lead a new academy, he takes the music with him. I don't know what Otis and Tozawa are doing, but they are no longer the Alpha Academy. How could you be the Alpha Academy if Chad Gable's not leading the Alpha Academy? I don't know why that bothered me, but It did. The little things. Chad Gable needs his music back. When he leads the Creeds out, they should come out to that music because they are now the Alpha Academy. Otis and Tozawa are not the Alpha Academy, but I shiver in fear of what Def Rebel is going to end up giving Tozawa and Otis if they don't use the old music. Just me. Gable and the Creeds attacked Otis post-match. Gable put him in an ankle lock until Maxine leapt on Gable's back and gave him a chokehold. Gable got her off, but she ended up slapping him. Maxine backed into the corner. Gable was ready to defend himself. So was Maxine, and he looked to advance Maxine. Looked like he was going to beat her ass. Lights went off. The Wyatt Sicks saved Maxine, and we get the lights going out. The typical Wyatt Sicks gimmick. We got all of the Wyatt Sicks coming down the aisle. We got Rowan, Loomis, and Gacy. Chants of holy shit in St. Paul, Minneapolis. Gable turned around to leave. Nikki Cross jumped off the top rope with a Luthez press. And Loomis and Gacy, along with Rowan, dropped the Creeds with big-time moves. Loomis and Gacy dropped the Creeds with Uranages, and Rowan hits a running cross body. Gable left up the aisle, ran away as Uncle Howdy was in the aisleway waiting for him, covered in smoke. Laughing was Bo Dallas in the aisleway, and Chad Gable ran for the hills. I love the fact that we got the Wyatt Sicks, like I mentioned in the beginning. I love the fact that the Wyatt Sicks were unmasked. Love the fact that we got to see Gacy, Rowan, and Loomis. Loomis has got a new look. Gacy looks the same from NXT. He looks disheveled. Rowan, you know what Rowan looks like. Nothing's really changed about his appearance. And Dexter Loomis, he looks like a badass. He's got this big black X painted on his forehead. He's got long dreads, blonde dreads. He is going to be the standout guy just based off his appearance because he looks nothing like his former self. WWE's got one task to accomplish next week, and that is give them a great first impression. The first half of the first impression was what we got weeks ago when they destroyed the gorilla position and they made their debut on Raw. The other half is now getting them in the ring. How are they going to translate all this story that we're getting with why they're in the group and why they're targeting Gable and the Creeds? Translate it to the ring. Hopefully the crowd receives it well. They'll be in Cleveland on Monday. Hopefully Cleveland receives it well. Gives it the proper star power and the fanfare that it deserves. And I hope that they go about it as simple as possible. We got no masks. Great. I'm glad that they're not wrestling in the mask. No lights, no spooky effects, no smoke. Get them in there and let them wrestle. And let them be the fucking badass killers that they are being portrayed as. It's not going to really end up well for the Creeds or Chad Gable, but I'm looking for a banger match. And that's what it needs to be. No smoke and mirrors, no funny effects, no spookiness. Send them out there and let them do what they got to do. Dominic and Rhea Ripley. They're backstage. And Dom asked Carlito if he got a match booked against Sami Zayn. Carlito said he thought he wanted him to suggest Dom to wrestle Sami. It's not what I heard, not what you guys heard. Dom told Carlito to go take care of it. And that's exactly what he went and did. But he didn't wrestle Sami Zayn tonight. Dominic did. Rhea said Dom will take care of Sami. Don't worry. Carlito, you go take care of Jey Uso. She told him to do it alone. Carlito was not pleased with how all of this played out. Well, Carlito's not really a good listener. He's too worried about that fucking PlayStation 5 and how he's going to get that PlayStation 5 with WWE 2K24 replaced. Don't worry, bro. There's no more shortages. You could go to Target or Walmart and go get yourself one, man. Go to Best Buy, go get yourself one, man. They're all over the place now. Sheamus. He went one-on-one with Bronson Reed. I love me a good meat madness match. Two meaty men. Sheamus and Bronson Reed. Pause. This went 10 minutes. These guys beat the shit out of each other. It's exactly what we like to see from Sheamus and Bronson Reed. Sheamus hits a flying clothesline to the outside. Reed gave him a back body drop onto the announce table. They went to break after about 90 seconds. Sheamus fought back with clotheslines and a running knee. He goes for a cover. He gets a 2 count. Sheamus missed the flying clothesline, and Reed hit a Death Valley driver for a 2 count. Sheamus hit White Noise off the middle rope, which looked very impressive because Bronson Reed is plus 300 pounds, around 350, I would assume. So he hit a White Noise off the middle rope for a near fall. Crowd popped big for that because why wouldn't you? I mean, look at Sheamus and look at Bronson Reed. The fact that Sheamus got him up and delivered that was very impressive. Sheamus then hits the 16 beats across Bronson Reed's chest. Referee yanked him off. Reed was then stuck in the ropes. They took a little bit too long to get Bronson Reed's leg out of the rope. I don't know why they did this spot, but this was clearly set up for what happens next because the referee was supposed to not see any of this. With the referee fixing Bronson Reed's leg and getting him untied from the ropes, Pete Dunne, he jumps on the apron and he hits Sheamus in the face with the shillelagh. Reed followed with a tsunami splash off the top rope. I would never want to be hit with the tsunami splash ever. He goes for the cover. He gets a 1, 2, 3, and Bronson Reed beats Sheamus. Oh, they're in Baltimore Monday. I'm sorry. I thought they were in Cleveland. Baltimore needs to bring it. I thought they were in Cleveland, man. I thought they did that whole block of the week in Cleveland. Pardon me. I'm a fan of meat. Yeah. I like me a good skirt steak, bro. Some chimichurri? Absolutely. Bronson Reed gets the win. They are obviously building Sheamus and Pete Dunne to go one-on-one. Sheamus needs something to do in the meantime. They can't thrust him into the IC title picture. That right now is kind of being taken up by Sami and Bron Breakker, and then obviously Dragunov's going to be involved, and Kaiser's going to be involved. So I'm assuming when Kaiser gets back, we're going to get Sheamus involved with all that. Pete Dunne may be involved in that as well. We don't know. But it's nice to see Bronson Reed get a win. Damian Priest. He had a promo. Priest talked about being raised on the streets. He says Gunther grew up with the best training facility and people telling him how great he is. He said what Gunther doesn't have and what could not be handed to him is heart. Everybody's got heart. Punk's got heart. Priest has got heart. Are these guys going to win with that big heart on Saturday night? I don't know. He said the ring is supposed to be a place of salvation for him to forget about his past. He says his ass is going to get mugged, meaning Gunther. He says he lived to fight for everything he's ever had, and he's willing to die for what he has now. Welcome to my neighborhood, General. Damian Priest is a very good talker when he's not in front of a live audience. See, vignettes like this, it's the weakest part of his game. Him getting in the ring and accentuating himself and talking to somebody. He doesn't do it very well. He does it adequately. He's all right. He's not a great promo. But when you get him in a controlled environment backstage like this vignette, he's very good. He's always been good in this type of environment. I'd like to see more of this from Damian Priest. And they used him to the best of his ability here. I'm looking forward to this match. They really built this match to come along very nicely over the last 3 weeks, adding a nice personal touch to it. I don't think Gunther walks out the champion, though. I could be wrong. It's very up in the air with what WWE wants to do here. I could see them waiting and crowning Gunther in Berlin at the end of the month. Or WWE could easily say, hey, we want this man, we want Gunther to win the title at SummerSlam, and we want him to walk into Berlin as champion. But right now, WWE doesn't have anybody else set for Gunther. So what I think is best is that we get a second match out of this. We crown Gunther in Berlin, and then we start planning for what he's going to do as champion next. Because if he beats Priest at SummerSlam, then you're just going to rush him into a feud, or he's going to wrestle Priest again anyway. So maybe we get Priest to retain the championship, and we get Priest to walk out of SummerSlam holding his head up high, and then Priest loses in Berlin to Gunther. That's what I'm going with. I think we get 2 matches out of this, and I think they crown Gunther as champion at Bash in Berlin. Just my opinion. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. But I'm excited about this match. I think this is going to end up being Priest's best match in this title run so far. And Gunther, I think he's played his role very well, as usual. And I think a lot of people, I don't know what it is with people, man. Gunther's boring. People sleeping on Gunther. He's got no charisma. I don't know where these people are raised or where they came from. I mean, they're fucking clueless. But Gunther's going to show you exactly how good he is Saturday night. If he hasn't shown you already, he's going to show you how good he is on Saturday night, because this is going to be Damian Priest's best match to date. Why? Because he's in there with one of the best wrestlers on the planet. We got another vignette. This one was even better than the Damian Priest vignette. A lot of vignettes on this show. We got a vignette from Priest, Bron Breakker, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley. WWE did a very good job of setting the tone going into SummerSlam, man. Not really a big story progression type of show, but they let you know what they're really focusing on, man. They added that extra layer of icing on top of the SummerSlam cake. It's exactly what they did tonight. This was a great vignette from Bron Breakker. Loved it. This was one of my personal favorite parts of the entire show. This vignette aired on Bron Breakker. He was talking about Sami Zayn and him shifting to stand-up comedy. He says he didn't take him serious enough at Money in the Bank. He said Sami has already accepted he's losing to him because he's already been preparing for a life after Bron Breakker, a life after WWE. He says he's been training like a dog and redefining the words effort, attitude, and toughness. He says they'll be on full display Saturday. The joke is on the Intercontinental Championship, and that championship will be on me at SummerSlam. It's great. Bron Breakker's a fucking savage, man. Looking forward to it. Sami Zayn is losing that championship at SummerSlam. I do not think he walks out of Cleveland with the title. And everybody that said Bron Breakker was buried coming out of Money in the Bank, man, oh man, you guys are going to look even more stupid than you already look. Because Bron Breakker will be the new Intercontinental Champion, and it's going to be glorious. Jey Uso. He went one-on-one with Carlito. Again, I don't really care. I mean, where is this going? Where is the Jey Uso and Judgment Day trying to take out Jey Uso situation going? This obviously is nothing more than filler for Jey Uso. I can't even begin to tell you where this potentially goes. Where do we go with this? Jay's music hit. He did the oos. Everybody's having a good time in Minneapolis. Bell rings. Jey Uso is in there with Carlito. Carlito got enough heat during the early portion of this match. They go into a commercial break, shoved Jey into the ring post. Jey fought back with some open hand palm strikes. Everybody was yeeting in the crowd. Carlito hit a spine buster. He goes for recovery, gets a 2 count. After the spine buster, he decided to eat an apple in the middle of this wrestling match for no reason. He takes a bite of the apple. I guess it's his thing, right? He loves the apple. Guess he wanted to spit the apple on Jey Uso. Maybe he was hungry. I have no fucking clue. Who doesn't enjoy a nice, juicy red apple, right? So he argued with the referee as he's eating the apple. Jey applied a schoolboy and followed with a spear, and Carlito spit up the apple as Jey Uso speared him. 1, 2, 3, and that was it. I don't know why this needed to go 8 minutes. Carlito is an absolute nobody on the WWE side of things. Judgment Day doesn't even want him in the group. Rhea Ripley continues to ask why he's even here. I don't know why this wasn't a squash match. Jey should have super kicked him. He should have speared him. Uso splash, and that's it. It's went 8 minutes. And we went through a commercial break for this shit. Where are we going with this Jey Uso Judgment Day nonsense? Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. WWE has done one thing here with Jey Uso and the Judgment Day. Apparently, the Judgment Day also has taken issue with Sami Zayn. WWE, through this Judgment Day story, has gotten Jey Uso and Sami Zayn back on television together. There's a reason why this was done. Someone mentioned it last week in the chat, and I'm going to say it here again this week. WWE does these things strategically with a vision in mind. They want you to get ready to see Sami Zayn and Jey Uso together on screen because that's where they will be from this point on. Sami Zayn is losing the Intercontinental Championship. He's not walking out of Cleveland with the title. After Sami Zayn loses to Bron Breakker, loses the Intercontinental Championship, where is Sami Zayn going? He's probably going to align himself with his Usos, and he's going to battle alongside his Usos as Jey gets his brother back, and we get the OG bloodline reformed. That's where we're going. WWE put Jey Uso and Sami Zayn back together on TV for the last 2 weeks because they want you to know that this is where they will be from this point on. And Rikishi, Jey's father, can cry and he could complain all he wants. What are they doing with my son? Is this the best that they got? Blah, blah, blah. Jey Uso is not ready for a singles title. He's not ready for the Intercontinental title. He's not ready for the world title. When Breakker wins that, he ain't losing it for a very long time. When Gunther wins the world title, he's not losing that for a very long time. So what exactly is there for Jey Uso to do? Battling alongside Roman is bigger than both the Intercontinental and the world title for Jey Uso. He will be back with Jimmy, and they will be whole again, and them together is what's going to be best for Jey Uso. Not to say Jey Uso can't wrestle single. Not to say that he can't do the yeet. I mean, all that's, it's going to be even bigger. It's going to be even bigger when he gets back into the bloodline to fight alongside his family. But let the fucking process play out, man. Why do we need to immediately rush to put someone in a situation where they're holding a championship? If it calls for it, if it's the right time, you know. But you know by watching that Jey Uso is not going to fit into any of those title plans. Him winning King of the Ring wasn't the right move. Right now, what they got him doing is filler. But they're giving you a glimpse. They're giving you a little Easter egg about where they're going. They paired Sami and Jey for a reason. They will be back together, and the OG bloodline will be battling Solo's bloodline. It's the way that I see it. Jackie Redmond interviewed Zelina Vega and asked her about her arm, her injury. She says they stacked the deck against her, meaning this new group of Zoe Stark, Shayna Baszler, and Sonya Deville. She says they know she's a threat. In walk Zoe, Shayna, and Sonya. Jackie Redmond walked away as they surrounded her. She took the first shot. They swarmed her and then kicked her arm against the door to the Minnesota Wild locker room. And Zelina Vega was once again injured. Great. Wake me when it's over. They replayed Zelina getting attacked after a commercial break. They cut to her being tended to by medics as Katana Chance, Kaden Carter, and Lyra Valkyria. No birds, huh? Okay. Maybe Jesse got that bird repellent that I told him to go get. Yeah, they all went to go check on her. Please wake me when it's over. I don't know how anybody could physically bring themselves to care about any of this. I don't really get it. I don't get it. Kathy Kelly interviewed The Miz in the parking lot tonight. He says he'll be hosting SummerSlam this year in my house, meaning Cleveland, because he's originally from Cleveland, now living in L.A., Los Angeles. R-Truth walked in and asked, "What up, dog?" He got confused. He thought WWE was bringing back the in-your-house PLEs. Miz says he's hosting SummerSlam this year in my house. So R-Truth thought that he was bringing back the in-your-house PLEs. Miz tried to explain. Truth says Miz lives in L.A. Miz says, yes, but I'm originally from Cleveland. Truth asks how he can host from his house in L.A. if the show's in Cleveland. Truth then quizzed Miz on doing things good hosts do. Miz insisted he was a good host and knew what he was doing. R-Truth says, will you have hors d'oeuvres? Miz says, no, I'm not going to have hors d'oeuvres. It's not that type of party. I'm not that type of host. R-Truth says he's going to go bring the hors d'oeuvres, so it looks like we're going to get Miz and R-Truth hosting SummerSlam. Xavier Woods. He went one-on-one with Karrion Kross. Kross is out there with Scarlett, Paul Ellering, and the Authors of Pain. They showed clips of Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods teaming on the Japan tour for WWE. Cole said Kofi re-aggravated his shoulder injury overseas. So Xavier came out first. Kross is in the ring with a microphone before this match got started. Kross brought up how he told Kofi, or he was told about Kofi, that he re-injured his shoulder. Kross was skeptical and did not believe Kofi is re-injured. He says he can't stand the world is revolving exclusively around him. He also said Kofi doesn't want to be in this hellhole called Minnesota. So Karrion Kross is looking to manufacture some good heel heat here in Minneapolis. So he shit on the town. Says he wants Xavier Woods to join the Final Testament live tonight on Monday Night Raw. This is exhilarating stuff, guys. I know. He told him not to listen to the fans. He also wanted him to admit that the power of positivity was always a lie. He says he also should have told that one-armed bastard, Kofi, that he should have retired after he lost the world title in 6 seconds. He didn't mention Brock Lesnar, but we all knew what he meant. Xavier punched Kross. Referee called for the bell. Xavier landed a wrecking ball dropkick through the ropes to Karrion Kross, and they cut to a quick commercial break. Karrion Kross is a very good promo. He's a very good promo. I don't know why we don't hear more of him in this element. But again, I have to ask everybody in the chat, does anybody fucking care about this? Does anybody legitimately care about this? I think the only thing that people care about is when this is going to end and when it's over. I don't know where we're going with the Final Testament, man. I don't know. I was excited that they finally gave Kross some muscle, that they gave him a group. But I said this last week, I'm going to say it again. They they don't come off as a serious group. They don't come off as a cool group. I don't even know what the fuck we're doing here, man. What is the whole point of this? Are we breaking up the New Day? Are we looking to bond Kofi and Xavier stronger? Is this supposed to cement the New Day as a stronger group? Like, what are we doing here? Legitimately, what is the end goal here? I don't know. I don't know where it goes. Quite honestly, I don't even give a shit. I want Cross to succeed, but I come on here every fucking week trying my best to actually care, and I can't. I can't. The whole group is made up of uncharismatic people. Cross is the only charismatic one, man. His body language, his facial expressions are spot on. But nobody believes a fucking word out of his mouth. Nobody. He's got that Bray Wyatt Eater of Worlds thing happening, man. Great talker. But when he gets in there, who exactly cares? Why should we fear Cross? What has he done for people to believe that he's the guy? What has he done for people to look at him and say, man, this guy's got it. This guy's the guy. AOP are as uncharismatic as they come. Scarlett doesn't say half of anything. And Paul Ellering is there, and the only thing he does is wave his hands with his white gloves. If Triple H has dropped the ball creatively on anything during his run, it's these guys. So we come back from commercial break. Cross took control. Woods was making a comeback. Akam gave him a cheap shot from behind the referee's back. Woods fought back, took out Akam with a dive. He was fighting off the rest of Final Testament. He avoided a charge by Rezar, who ran himself into the ring post. Cross dodged Woods' diving elbow and hit the final prayer, his finish, for the 1-2-3. I'm asking for a reason to care. What exactly is the story here? There is none. The story is Xavier's got nothing to do. Cross has nothing to do. Let's give these guys nothing to do together. We're not going to break up the New Day because the WWE would be foolish to break up a fucking tag team like the New Day for the Final Testament. Not going anywhere. Jackie Redmond interviewed Sami Zayn. Sami said he did comedy before Money in the Bank. He did a comedy show before Money in the Bank, and he still beat Bron Breakker. So I don't know why he's using this as an excuse, says Sami Zayn. Said Bron admitted that he underestimated him, but he won't do that again. Said he took a cheap shot at him from behind last week. He says he gets that he's a young guy who wants the Intercontinental title. He said this time he's approaching the match differently. He says he just plans to beat his ass at SummerSlam. Tonight he's going to teach Dom a lesson first. So the camera followed Sami Zayn to the ring, and we got Sami Zayn versus Dominik Mysterio. Before we get to that match, we got a vignette airing with Liv Morgan. We didn't get any Liv Morgan ass shots. We didn't see any of her assets. We didn't see Liv Morgan thrusting her hips around. She wasn't wearing those Daisy Duke shorts. Liv was outside in front of a burning can of whatever. Trash can was on fire. She was burning photos of her and Dom together. She was crying as she was burning memorabilia that Dominic had at one point, shirts, pictures. Her voice started to quiver and she was crying and said, Dom isn't a man. Instead, Dom is nothing more than Rhea's bitch. Everybody's stealing Okada's gimmick, man. I don't like it. She said she's going to make his life a living hell. She said she'll end the Liv Morgan revenge tour by beating Rhea and leaving Dom with whatever is left of her. She said she wants to hear the words that she is still the women's world champion. Michael Cole made a Fatal Attraction reference to Liv Morgan. Listen, I didn't really expect them to go into the sobbing, revenge-filled ex-girlfriend now where she's burning all of Dominic's memorabilia and shirts and vests and pictures. I mean, Dominic is an idiot, man. He broke this girl's heart. What do you expect her to do? So this is another element to the Liv Morgan character. Again, I don't really know where they're going. Some people, I've seen some people were disappointed with the way that they advanced Liv Morgan's character, but it may all be a part of the plan here. What do we get at SummerSlam? I am predicting a heel turn. I guess they are already heel. I say heel turn because Rhea is a babyface, 100%. And the fact that Dominic is standing alongside Rhea, it makes him a babyface too. I'm expecting a turn. Dominic turns on Rhea willingly. I think this was all set up. I think Dominic understands that Finn is in control here. I feel like Dominic is going to end up siding with Liv. If he doesn't side with Liv blatantly, I feel like we get Dominic forcing the situation and costing Rhea the match accidentally. And then I think we get Liv Morgan retaining the title that way. But I think Liv Morgan retains the title at SummerSlam. I think she walks out of Cleveland still the women's champion. And I think we get this again, whether it's at Berlin or they wait till Bad Blood. Bad Blood is certainly going to be the final chapter for this storyline because it just fits it. The name of the pay-per-view fits it. If they want to put it inside Hell in a Cell, I would not be opposed to that either because it's the only other match besides CM Punk and Drew McIntyre that belongs inside Hell in a Cell. But I wouldn't even go that far. I think Liv Morgan retains the championship, and it's going to be either by Dominic's hands blatantly or accidentally. Interested to see where the story goes. 100%. Sami Zayn versus Dominik Mysterio. Match went 9 minutes. Dominic walked to the ring. Cole read a tweet that Rhea posted for Dom that he said sounded like a love letter. So Rhea is now trusting, a little bit more accepting of Dom. Something's going to happen. The fact that that was mentioned on commentary only further proves that something is going to happen. I think Dom turns on Rhea. Bell rang, Sami landed an Arabian moonsault onto Dominic at ringside. We go quickly to a commercial break. We come back from the break. Dominic took control by shoving Sami Zayn into the ring post. Carlito did that earlier. Sami Zayn fought back until Dominic cut him off, hit three amigos. Sami Zayn avoided a splash, hit an exploded suplex in the corner. Speaking of Carlito, he ran out with JD McNuggets. Dominic used this distraction to apply a schoolboy on Sami for 2. Zayn knocked Carlito and McCafe off the apron, but Dominic used that distraction to drop kick him into the ropes. Zayn popped up before Dom could go for the 619. He hits a clothesline, a Blue Thunder bomb, but the Judgment Day caused a DQ and attacked Sami Zayn at the end of the match. Judgment Day put the boots to Sami Zayn. Jey Uso ran out for the save. Jey wiped all of them out with a dive. Breakker is in there. He looks to beat up on Sami Zayn. He went for a spear, but Zayn booted him, which looked great. Zayn went for a haluva kick, but Bron bailed. There was a little miscue there where I think Bron was trying to go over the top rope and couldn't go over the top rope completely, struggled to get over the top rope just a little bit. Zayn turned his back, so Bron tried to go after him again, but Zayn saw it coming and shoved him out of the ring. So Sami Zayn got the last ha-ha on Bron Breakker, which doesn't really bode well for the champion babyface going into Saturday's SummerSlam. Wyatt Sicks. We got another VHS tape. This week, it was, if you guys were following the social media account, you kind of saw where this was going. They stopped delivering the VHS tapes to Michael Cole and Pat McAfee at ringside, so we just got a VHS tape airing on Dexter Lumis. Bo's distorted voice said they laughed as they watched him drown, but there's freedom in sinking. Look at what you've become, he said to Lumis. Tell me, what should they do when the buzzards start circling? Dexter Lumis wears the Mercy the Buzzard mask. Lumis then yelled, run. Lumis was not one for talking under his old gimmick. Lumis usually spoke in paintings. There was not much to this. If you watch this, the last couple of weeks of vignettes were pretty disappointing. We got Nikki Cross, didn't really go anywhere. Nothing more than shrieking from Nikki Cross. This one was more of the same as the Nikki Cross one. Heard more of Bo than we did from Lumis. We still haven't seen one on Joe Gacy yet. Maybe we get that next week. But they will be wrestling the Creeds next week. That was made official following this segment. Gable with the Creeds were complaining to Adam Pearce. Gable says he figured out the identities of the rest of the Wyatt Six. It's Eric Rowan, Joe Gacy, and Dexter Lumis. Adam Pearce says, no shit. They're signed to WWE contracts. I know this already. Gable wanted them in a six-man tag team match next week on Raw. Pearce says, are you sure you want that? Pearce says, it's official. Be careful what you wish for. Rhea Ripley. She had a vignette just like Liv Morgan did, just like Bron Breakker did, just like Damian Priest did. A lot of vignettes on this show. Rhea Ripley held the black rose and responded to what Liv said. She said Liv was so badly wanting to be the victim in her little revenge tour fantasy. She said the reality of the situation is the tour comes to an end this Saturday and there's no more running and hiding and manipulating. She said she warned her to stay out of her business, and now she's not only going to end her championship run. You took 3 months from my career. You tried to take my championship. You took my championship and tried to manipulate my family. She wants her to be her demon in her fantasy, but now it's time to get her revenge. So Liv Morgan has Mommy coming at SummerSlam, and she's going to be the demon in her fantasy dream. I think a lot of men want Rhea Ripley to be the demon in their fantasy dream. Ladies action. Again, I'm begging for a reason to care here. I really am. Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, and Lyra Valkyria. Yeah. See? I don't know, man. It's going on fucking 1 a.m. I don't know what the seagulls are doing out, man, at the beer. I really don't get it. Like, are we purposely feeding the fucking seagulls, man? There are signs outside. Don't feed the seagulls, okay? Stop. I don't believe. Fuck. You fucking motherfucker, man. I swear to God. Ridiculous. Lyra, Kaden, and Katana versus Sonya Deville, Zoe Stark, and Shayna Baszler. I mean, does anybody fucking care here? Really, does anybody care? What are they feuding over? What are they feuding over? Supremacy in the women's division. Baby faces were in control before a break. Come back from the break. We got this new group of Zoe, Shayna, and Sonya in control. Lyra tagged in Kaden, who fought off Shayna, and Stark before the baby faces triple team Zoe. Lyra hits a sit-out powerbomb, but Baszler broke up the cover. Zoe killed Katana with a knee strike and then hit the Z360 for the 1-2-3. I don't care, and neither do you. Neither do you. At the end of the match, Damage Control marched out. They were all wearing black. DeVille, Baszler, and Stark were also wearing black. Damage Control attacked Shayna, Zoe, and Sonya, and Io dropped them with a moonsault to the outside. So I'm assuming Damage Control is now babyface. Who are we supposed to cheer for here? I don't know. I don't know. Mindless garbage. No reason to care whatsoever. If you're a fan of these ladies, great. Doesn't belong on the show. Gunther. He cut a promo on AEW Dynamite. He was in an empty arena. I kid. I got AEW elitists probably already in my DMs. How could you say that about Dynamite? Gunther walking around an empty arena earlier in the day. He said Priest is a weak man who doesn't have control over his own emotions. He says he exposed Priest for what he really is, an emotional wannabe who abuses this great business as a cure for his childhood trauma. He then shifted to talking about Balor, saying he became trash once he started hanging out with the Judgment Day. He says he's going to find out how much of the old Finn Balor is still left in him. He said he will never forgive Priest for abusing this great sport, and said after SummerSlam, he and the rest of the world will remember the day when the ring general saved this sport. Gunther's a great promo. If you're not on board with Gunther, get with the program. Backstage, Jackie Redmond interviews Damage Control. Dakota Kai challenged Sonya Deville to a match next week. Oh, great, man. I can't wait to not give a shit. Rhea Ripley. She was talking with Dominic and Carlito backstage. Balor says they all got in this mess together, and they will get out of this mess after SummerSlam. Rhea agreed they need to focus on SummerSlam now. She offered Balor help tonight. Balor insisted he go at it alone, just like they will all do at SummerSlam. Rhea's going to go at it alone against Liv. Damian Priest is going to go at it alone against Gunther, and he is going to go at Gunther tonight alone. He asked if they doubt he's good enough. Priest and Rhea says they believe he can handle Gunther, but they don't trust he won't try something stupid. What is that? What is Gunther going to try? Gunther is as straight as they come, man. Gunther does not cheat to win. He doesn't. And Kaiser's not even there. So what stupidity is Gunther going to try on Balor? What? Balor was satisfied and smiled. Priest told him to go soften Gunther so he can finish him off at SummerSlam. We got the main event, which was Gunther and Finn Balor, and they go about 12 minutes or so. First time ever match in WWE. Went about 12 minutes. These guys, they had a decent match. If you give these guys the free reign to do whatever they want, it would be a match of the year contender. This wasn't nearly anywhere close to what it could have been. It was a simple main event that had an ending and a post-match that built for Priest and Gunther at SummerSlam. That was the entire story of this match. Balor hit Gunther with 3 chops. Gunther basically no-sold all of them, and he dropped Balor with 1 chop. Chopped the soul out of Balor's chest. Balor fought back, but Gunther booted him, leading to a commercial break, literally 2 minutes into the match. Balor tried fighting back with chops, but Gunther chopped him down again. Hits a back body drop for 2. Gunther applied a Boston Crab, which he's won several matches with. He's Basically, all he won the King of the Ring with was Boston Crabs. Balor got to a rope. He broke the hold. Gunther tried an avalanche back suplex, but Balor countered into a crossbody. Balor followed with some strikes and a headlock, elbow drop for 2. Gunther applied a sleeper hold, but let go to try the powerbomb. Balor reversed that into a DDT and hit a clothesline, but Gunther barely budged, and he dropped Balor with a clothesline of his own. They both exchanged chops and strikes until Balor hits Gunther with a sling blade, consecutive double foot stomps, a double foot stomp to the bank, a running drop kick. Gunther avoided the coup de grace. He applied a sleeper. Balor wouldn't go out. Gunther picks him up, hits a power bomb, goes for cover. He only gets a 2 count. Gunther then applied the sleeper again, and Balor fought out momentarily, but Gunther locked it in, and Balor passed out. The referee stopped the match. Gunther wins. Crowd could not have been any more boring for this match in Minneapolis. But at the end of the day, Gunther's a heel, and I think Balor is wrestling as a heel as well. So it's not like WWE gave Minneapolis someone to overly cheer for here. Balor is not a babyface. He's not. He's operating as a heel. Damian Priest has come off as a babyface because he's got Gunther at SummerSlam, who's a heel. Rhea Ripley is a babyface. Liv Morgan is a heel. The rest of Judgment Day are not. JD McDonough is not a babyface. Dominic is only a babyface because he's associated with Rhea. Finn is not a babyface. I'm wondering if the crowd didn't really know who to cheer for because of their, representation on heel and babyface in this match. I don't know. Crowd was flat. Match only went 12 minutes. It was all about the post-match. Gunther did not let go of the sleeper hold. Priest ran out for the save. He swung wildly at Gunther and tossed him into the announce table. Priest and Gunther, they fought at ringside, and they did this until the show went off the air, and that was the go-home for Monday Night Raw. Again, not really a lot happened tonight, folks. If you were excited about SummerSlam coming on, I feel like I say this every week. Or every month, rather, for a pay-per-view, go-home show. If you were excited about this show coming on in, this show did nothing to get you any more excited. It was basically, the best way for me to describe it is WWE finally putting the last layer of icing on the cake for SummerSlam. That's basically it. It wasn't a bad show. There just wasn't anything terribly exciting that pushed anything forward because we've hit a stalemate, we've hit a wall, and we won't go anywhere past that wall until we get through SummerSlam. I guess that's the way WWE wants their go-home shows to be. Maybe we as fans are just asking for too much. Maybe we want something else. Maybe we just have this figment of our imagination that go-home shows are supposed to be. Oh my God, man, I can't miss it. Really, if you missed this Raw, you missed nothing. You genuinely missed nothing exciting. You could go back and catch all this shit on YouTube. No reason to sit and watch 3 hours of Raw. I only do it because I have nothing else to do, and this is my gig. Seriously. But I'm excited for SummerSlam. I think SummerSlam shaping up to be really good. I'm excited for what's coming out of SummerSlam. Roman Reigns more than likely is going to be returning. Everything's going to get kicked up a notch with him coming back. The Rock is just wrapping up filming of his latest movie. We don't know if he's going to be back. Bad Blood's coming up. Berlin's coming up. Got some exciting stuff to look forward to. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for all of your support here on the Monday Night Post. Right here on Off the Script tonight, sponsored by my friends over at Magic Mind. You guys know the deal about Magic Mind, bro. I've had a stressful week. I've had a very stressful week. You guys know the deal about my week. I appreciate all your love and support, by the way. Magic Mind. You see this green little bottle? I usually take my favorite sparkling beverage, which is in a mug like this or in the can itself, and I pour it right in. Boom. Pour it right in. And then I got myself my morning ritual, man. We all have our morning rituals. Some of you guys wake up and the first thing you go for is a protein shake. Some of you guys wake up and the first thing you go for is your Keurig machine or your cup of coffee. I've been making my morning ritual Magic Mind. Because I feel like when I have Magic Mind early in the morning, with all the benefits that you get from Magic Mind, I feel like I'm at ease in the morning. I don't really stress. I don't rush around. I don't have any anxiety. I'm focused. I get my work done in the morning. Then I have my breakfast. Then I have my protein. Then I have my coffee. I feel like I'm a little bit more energized during the day. And I've been very open about taking midday naps, man. You know, this week was different because I had to do what I had to do to get through the tough week that was. But Magic Mind has legitimately put a stop to me taking midday naps. And when I feel the need for a nice energy boost during the day, I could be out doing errands. I could be out food shopping. I could be out just doing whatever. Magic Mind is always there for that nice pick-me-up, man. And if you guys want to try Magic Mind for yourself and feel the benefits, Magic Mind is teaming up with the podcast to give you guys a sample pack. You're going to get 3 bottles like this, and you're going to try it for free. MagicMind.com/JDfromNY trial. Sign up, try it for free, and feel exactly what I'm talking about, man. Say goodbye to feeling amped up and hello to feeling dialed in. Sharper mind, less stress, stronger motivation, and better energy. For stress, they got turmeric, vitamin C, and vitamin D3. For energy, they got vitamins B2, B3, and B12. And for a sharper mind, they got that lion's mane mushroom included on top of other goodies as well, man. I love it. And like I say, man, I never stamp my name to something I don't use. And I use Magic Mind legitimately every day. It's right next to my coffee machine. Love it. Go try it for yourself. MagicMind.com/JDfromNY trial. And I want to thank them for sponsoring the show right here on OTS. As always, man. Let's get into these super chats. If you guys want to get your super chats in, man, please get them on in. Let's try and end July great. Can't do that without your support. Start at the top here, man. MGM Ballin with a $9.99. He says, Punk lied again, saying he never needed Seth's help. Who brought in the Shield? Oh, that's right. Fragile Phil did. Jokes aside, we love you, JD. Stay strong because we always will have your back. OTS forever. Thank you, Ballin. Yeah, I don't know why Punk mentioned that. Punk was not really on top of his game tonight with the promo. But I think, like I said, we've hit a wall, man. What else needs to be done? What else needs to be said? Michelle with a $5 super chat. I'm so stoked for Drew and Punk this Saturday. Their segment tonight was fire, and they threw subtle hints at Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood. Loving this feud. OTS rules. I didn't really get the subtle hints of Hell in a Cell, but that's exactly where it's going. Tommy Brannigan with 30 months. Thank you, Tommy, for your 30-month membership here in the VIP section. Hey, JD, just wanted to check on you after your rough week last week. Hope you're doing okay. Can't wait for SummerSlam this weekend. OTS for life. It's still tough, Tommy. It hasn't gotten any easier. You know, I just I'm in a mindset of where I don't really want to interact with anybody. I don't really have much to say. I don't know how you guys grieve over losing a pet, but I just don't want to be around anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. Things that I like, I'm not really interested in right now. I'm hoping it passes. We'll see. Triple M, what's up, brother? $10 super chat. Got Jesse through his first King's Fall. It was rough teaching 3 people, but we got through it. And he got nothing. LOL. Hope you're doing okay, though. Hang in there, GOAT. Thank you, Triple M. King's Fall is easy, bro. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why people struggle with King's Fall, man. I think that's the one raid where you know you give me an assignment, go do this, go run this, and I'll be fine. Really. I enjoyed King's Fall. I thought King's Fall was great. A lot of people didn't really like it. I mean, I thought it was that's probably my favorite raid, I would say. That and Crota. Vault of Glass is good too. Thank you, Triple M. The John Wick of Spider Hunters, Nate TV with 24 months. He finally got his gold microphone. He got his gold mic to celebrate. Can I use extra gold microphone parts for Golden Spiders? I'll send them to Chicago, not New York. Nate, we don't have any extra gold microphone parts, bro. Who do you think we are? We don't waste here in the venue. Mr. Team Bring It with $1.99. New Japan Okada is greater than AEW Okada. I mean, what's the difference? He still wrestles like Japanese Okada, right? He still wrestles like New Japan Okada. But he's just a little bit more comedic. I'd rather have charisma and character and wrestling ability over no character, no charisma, and wrestling ability. They're building Okada for Kenny Omega. I think everything will be okay. New Bendy Comic Dubs with 23 months. Hi, JD. I love Gunther. I have to question. Do you hate how Gunther is a heel instead of just a dominant villain? Usually Gunther doesn't trash talk. He wins. This needed something. This feud with Damian Priest needed something. You just can't have Gunther win the King of the Ring and just base the title match off of, all right, he won King of the Ring. There needed to be some level of emotion. And that's exactly what they did. Triple M with a $5 super chat. Watched Hog while raiding on D2. Was a good show. You and Solid Monster got good chemistry on commentary. Ready for a new week of Destiny raid grind. I think Jason and I are the best commentary team on the Indies. And if you don't think so, fuck off. Thank you, Triple M. Antoine Kennedy with a new membership. Mr. Kennedy. What the fuck are you drinking, bro? Melace with a $1 super chat. Put it in the tip jar, brother. Lisa with a $5 super chat. Raw was mid. I think Sami loses on Saturday and then wins the tag belts with Jay leading them back into the Bloodline story. If Jay wins the tag team titles, it would be with Jimmy, not Sami. Football with a $9.99. I don't know if you noticed, but during the JD segment showing the damage Liv did to the clubhouse, the big poster on the wall with Rhea and Dom, Priest and Finn, all faces were graffitied. But not Finn's face. I did not notice that. I did not notice that. That's all you need to know. Things like that are not done without reason. Thank you, Football, for calling that out, brother. I had no idea. Jordan Moore with a $4.99. What's up, JD? I was at Raw Live tonight. Side note, have you tried Rock's Papatui skincare products? I use them and they're great. I use Papatui shampoo and conditioner. I think it's fantastic. I think it smells great. I use the coconut one. I love it. I have not used any of his other products, though. Deodorant, soaps, creams. I haven't used it. Just the shampoo. being that my hair is so fucking long now. Gold Standard with a $5 super chat. WWE saved pro wrestling. Did they? WWE 3 years ago was killing pro wrestling. Now all of a sudden it saved pro wrestling. Thomas with a $20 super chat. Thank you, Thomas. JD, I tried Magic Mind and I'm very impressed. Thank you. I don't like Awesome Truth as a tag team, but them not winning, or wanting rather, a rematch is kind of unrealistic. Do you think there's a chance that Seth might make it a triple threat? No. I mean, he could. He's the referee. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. But I don't think that's going to happen. Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate you, bro. As far as Awesome Truth goes, I don't think anybody wants them to get a tag team title rematch. So if it doesn't happen, I don't think anybody's going to complain. Gold Standard with the $2 super chat. TK way overpaid for Okada. It's funny, man. You know, a lot of people want to complain about how Tony Khan spends his money. I don't know why anybody's complaining about how other people spend their own fucking money, man. Tony Khan is a multi-billionaire. What he spent on Okada is probably couch change to him. Who cares? Okada's getting paid. Good for him. Chris Lloyd with a $5 super chat. Question, which would you prefer? Gunther vs. Ilya at WrestleMania 41 or Gunther vs. Ilya at an international PLE? I don't know what we're getting this year, but if I was a betting man, I'd probably say Gunther versus Ilya is happening at 41. That's my guess. I think they build for WrestleMania. Trenton Martin with a $1.99. Thank you for everything that you do, Trenton. Thank you. VJC 1618 with the 2 months. Thank you. Personally, the only good thing that happened on Raw was the beginning with Seth giving his instructions. I mean, kind of, yeah. I mean, nothing really big or important happened after that, so. Brandon Watson with a $4.99. What's up, JD? Unfortunately, I don't get sci-fi, so I guess I'll have to watch your reviews and highlights of Raw until they return to the USA Network. That's all right, Brandon. Listen, man, they upload, WWE uploads to their YouTube channel somewhere. It should be up now. It usually goes up a couple of hours after Raw ends. They give you a whole recap. All you got to do is watch the recap on YouTube, man. You missed nothing. Ricardo Linnell with a $5 super chat. Oh, man, Ricardo, thank you, brother, with a $5 super chat. Pouring one out tonight for Bacardi. Thank you, Ricardo. That means a lot, brother. That means a lot, man. And Aquarius Know-It-All with a $4.99. If Priest retains against Gunther, does he do it clean? I don't. Well, obviously, if they're going to do a rematch at Berlin, it's not going to be clean. Something's going to happen there. And seeing that was the end of the Super Chat line tonight, man. I am about to get out of here. I guess you guys didn't want to hang out tonight. It is what it is. What am I going to do? Melees with a $1 super chat. Put it in the tip jar, brother. Put it in the tip jar, bro. We're about to get out of here. The Dark Horse. Hitting the highway, man. Shout out to Deviate for this great looking fucking Dark Horse design, man. Unbelievable stuff from my team over at Deviate. Best in the game, no doubt about it. Make sure you guys follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Go check out last week's content, all on the homepage. Continue to hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes on tonight's Raw post-show here on OTS. And make sure you guys tune in to tomorrow night, episode 59. Jason and I will get you guys completely covered for SummerSlam this weekend on Tuesday Night Titans. Until tomorrow night, guys, thank you very much. And I will see you right back here with more on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.